Hello and welcome to SiteStaff Pro. My name is Kim Reid and this is a preview of our new content on asbestos awareness. Asbestos awareness for non-asbestos workers. What is asbestos? Asbestos is the generic name for 6 different naturally occurring fibrous materials. What is a fibrous material? The materials which are made up of fibres are generally known as fibrous materials. The fibres are sticking to one another, which ultimately results in a solid substance. So the fibrous materials constitute a large number of individual fibres. It is common for asbestos to be combined with other components into an asbestos-containing material, or ACM. Something is an ACM if it contains more than 1% asbestos as determined by testing. What is the difference between friable and non-friable asbestos-containing material? Well, when dry, an asbestos-containing material is considered friable if it can be crumbled, pulverized, or reduced to powder by hand pressure. If it can't be crumbled by hand pressure, it's considered non-friable. Non-friable ACM is divided into 2 categories. Category 1 non-friable ACMs are asbestos-containing resilient floor coverings like vinyl asbestos tile, asphalt roofing products, packing, and gaskets. These materials rarely become friable because the asbestos is locked securely into the material. Category 2 non-friable ACMs are more likely to become friable because they are not as resistant to crushing or pulverizing. It is possible for non-friable ACM to become friable when subjected to unusual conditions, such as demolishing a building or a room or removing an ACM that has been glued into place, such as a floor tile. Why was asbestos used in so many products? All forms of asbestos are resistant to heat, fire, chemical, and biological breakdown. Asbestos does not dissolve in water or evaporate. These properties mean that asbestos fibres do not burn, do not undergo significant reaction with most chemicals, and do not break down significantly in the environment. Other properties of asbestos that made it so commercially desirable include its wear and friction characteristics, its tensile strength, its heat, electrical, and sound insulation capabilities, and its absorption capacity. With these properties, asbestos was used in a wide range of manufacturing products, such as building materials, friction products, and heat-resistant fabrics. The manufacturing of most materials containing asbestos was banned in Canada in 1979. However, many non-friable materials continued to be produced, and also stockpiles of products were still in existence for years later. Therefore, asbestos products can be found in buildings built into the early 1990s. Before 1990, asbestos was mainly used for insulating buildings and homes against cold weather and noise, and for fireproofing. Asbestos was used by industry, construction, and commercial sectors in products such as building materials and friction materials. Sink insulation contained asbestos, which was applied as a spray textured undercoating used to deaden sound and to assist prevention of condensation. Because of its wear properties, asbestos was historically used as a friction material in brake linings, disc brake pads, and clutch facings in vehicles. Because of its heat-resistant properties, asbestos used to be used in fire and heat protection wear, such as these fire-resistant, heat-resistant gloves shown here. Asbestos-containing materials were, for the biggest part of the 20th century, the norm in the process of construction and installation of furnaces. Again, because of its fire-resistant and heat-resistant properties, asbestos used to be used in fabrics such as fire blankets and electrical fixtures in wrappings. Asbestos became popular in paint because it allowed liquid paint to flow smoothly and be stable in both hot and cold temperatures. While asbestos is no longer used in current paint or for current painting jobs, it may exist in old paint. Any scraping or chipping of paint can be hazardous. If the fire door in your building has a window, it is likely to contain asbestos in the caulking, again due to its fire and heat-resistant properties. Vinyl floors are widely used in public areas for their low cost and easy cleaning. From 1960 to 1980, asbestos was often added to improve vinyl floor performance. Due to the material's fire-resistant nature, asbestos has been frequently used in the core of fire doors. If you find a ceiling stain and are not sure if you have asbestos ceiling tiles, be very careful. Disturbing the tile is what causes the toxins to get in the air. Check your asbestos report to be sure if the ceiling tile has asbestos or not. Sometimes extra ceiling tiles may be stored in your building and have a brand stamped or other identifying information. However, if you don't see this, treat the ceiling tile you have as possibly having asbestos. In pipe wrapping, asbestos helped insulate exposed pipes and added fireproof properties. If you do happen to have a water leak, it's a good idea to check the asbestos report to see if asbestos was used to insulate the pipes in your building. Asbestos only becomes a health risk when the condition starts to deteriorate. If it's torn, cut, cracking, chipping, shredded, or damaged in any way, or if it's likely to be disturbed. If asbestos is disturbed, dangerous small fibers may be released into the air as dust, which could be detrimental to your health. Usually the best thing is to leave asbestos-containing materials alone, if it's in good condition and will not be disturbed by remodeling, for example, as this will not release any asbestos fibers. So how do we know if asbestos is present in our workplace? An employer must provide a worker with the following information: the location of all asbestos-containing material, and if there is any, for each location, whether the material is friable or non-friable. Depending on the age of your building, there will exist either an asbestos report as shown on the left, or a hazardous materials report shown here on the right. Take time after this training to find your building's report and then review it. Be sure that you know where any asbestos-containing materials may be in your workplace so that you A. don't accidentally disturb them, and B. you can visually monitor them for wear or deterioration. If you have any concerns, immediately report it to your supervisor or your company's Asbestos Management Plan Administrator, or AMPA. Most companies have a designated individual identified as their Asbestos Management Program Administrator, or AMPA. Check your policies to find out who is your person to contact. If asbestos is present in your building, you will also have an asbestos management plan, in addition to your asbestos report or hazmat report. Please take time to review this document as well. Many companies choose to keep their asbestos management plan and their asbestos or hazmat reports in a yellow occupational health and safety binder. What's important is to find where your company keeps yours. If you're uncertain about whether material in your workplace contains asbestos, you should assume asbestos is present until such time as a proper analysis of the material can be carried out. Immediately contact your supervisor or Asbestos Management Program Administrator. It's always better to be safe than sorry.